Michael Wallace reports on the growing impact on millions of Americans.
Arkansas is warning SNAP benefits will be delayed if the shutdown doesn't end by November 1st. Teresa Robertson is with the Better Community Development Center in Little Rock.
We have clients come in all the time that talk about how I've eaten out of a dumpster 3 times this week because my benefits got cut off.
Meals on Wheels in San Antonio has lost $1.2 million in federal funding, forcing it to cut service to hundreds of seniors. CEO Vincent Farris says a local business owner donated almost $200,000 to help.
Letting these folks know that they're not alone and people remember.
A B-1B bomber flew over the sea off the coast of Venezuela today, the second such show of force by the U.S. military in a week. President Trump was asked about the continued strikes on alleged drug boats and whether he would seek congressional approval going forward.
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead.
CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
Officials said to me yesterday, this isn't going to make an impact. Taking out a few boats and blowing up a few boats, it won't even act as a deterrent. And some of the people that are on those boats are fishermen who are either getting paid off or they might be coerced into taking those boats over. But it's going to take a land strike to take out significant infrastructure from these drug dealers.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio's in Israel to shore up the Gaza peace plan after a controversial but symbolic vote by the Israeli parliament on annexing the West Bank. President Trump was asked about that.
They're not going to do anything with the West Bank. Don't worry about it. Israel's doing very well. They're not going to do anything with it.
The Department of Homeland Security is redirecting resources away from San Francisco after Trump spoke to the mayor there, Daniel Lurie.
In our conversation, the president told me clearly that he was calling off any plans for a federal surge in San Francisco.
Federal authorities have busted up gambling schemes that allegedly involved NBA players and organized crime. At poker tables, devices straight out of the movies were found. U.S. Attorney Joseph Nacella.
The poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down.
He said gamblers were cheated out of $7 million and as many as 30 people have been charged in the scheme. On Wall Street, stocks finished higher today, the Dow up 144. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And updates on that damaged I-90 overpass near Cle Elum coming up after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care in Kent, southbound 167, just before 516. It's a disabled vehicle in that left lane that's got you backed up approaching 180th. That's a bumper-to-bumper backup right now. Renton to Auburn is a 40-minute drive. That's double the norm. Further south, southbound 167 still has a brief backup through Pacific where road work has wrapped up. Renton to Puyallup, all added up together, is going to take you 55 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way is at a half hour. Bellevue to South Center, 35 minutes. You're packed at Southeast 8th to Cold Creek Parkway before things start to thin out. And then you got another thick backup through South Center. North 5 into Seattle, stop and go, approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. South 5 is packed at Ravenna Boulevard to I-90, Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. Everett to Marysville looking pretty good at just 15 minutes. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repairs earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just service. Bucky's.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Demolition crews are now responding to the I-90 overpass that was struck by an overheight load near Cle Elum. KIRO News Radio's Chris Sullivan has the updates.
The damage to the Bullfrog overpass is so bad, WashDOT says the section over westbound I-90 must come down. Demolition begins Thursday night and will last through late Saturday. One eastbound lane will be closed during the demolition as well. WashDOT hopes to remove all the debris and reopen the westbound lanes early next week. The entire overpass doesn't have to come down because there is a center column in the grassy median. Plans for rebuilding the section are still in development. Chris Sullivan, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle fire investigators are looking into a string of arsons in the Central District, Mount Baker, and Rainier Beach neighborhoods. 6 fires were set in just 6 days this month. They involved homes, a car, and even a portable toilet. Crews say they also responded to other nearby arsons over the summer. Seattle police are looking for a hit-and-run driver who killed a man in the Ballard neighborhood. Detective Eric Munoz says the 56-year-old victim was crossing 15th Avenue near 73rd last night.
They didn't stop and provide medical assistance. They didn't call 911. They committed a more serious offense, obviously, by fleeing the scene.
Police say the man was hit by a silver sedan that likely has front-end damage. KIRO Newsradio's Frank Lindsay reports on a gun scare on the University of Washington campus this morning.
UW police got reports of an armed man acting erratically. He was described as being in his 50s. He was first spotted outside of Schmitz Hall, and a few minutes later, he was seen in the Hans Rosling Center for Population Health. When police found him, he didn't have a weapon. Instead, he had a lighter shaped like a gun. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The Seattle Mariners front office is taking the blame for the team not reaching the World Series. General Manager Justin Hollander.
We didn't get it done. We did not get far enough, and I take responsibility for that. There's more that we could have done to give our players 1% more of a chance to get there.
Among the team's top priorities this offseason is re-signing fan favorite Josh Naylor. The 28-year-old first baseman is entering free agency. He was a key piece of the team's postseason run that ended in the ALCS. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy right now. We'll see showers move in along the coast later on tonight. Heavy rain tomorrow along with some gusty conditions. Right now 63 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
My best qualities are that I love to have a good time. If you are interested in fun, I know how to do it. I know how to roller skate. I'm not so good at limbo, but I'll always give it a try. If you are funny, I have a brother-in-law who's very funny, Dwayne. I love amaretto sours. I can drink 2 at a time, not at the same time, but I can drink 2. Sometimes I call people late at night. Sometimes they'll talk to me and sometimes they won't.
Okay, well that's good. We welcome her. Sounds somewhat normal. Again, still looking for a normal John Curley Show listener, but put her at the top of the list. She can drink 2 amaretto sours, but not at the same time.
2 at the same time, but not at the same time.
And her brother-in-law's funny.
Yeah.
Welcome. Still searching.
Always searching.
How's Nate doing in there with the construction of the White House?
East Wing. Look at him.
Yeah, he's Mr. East Wing.
I apologize to you.
No, you don't have to apologize.
What?
No, this is an open forum. Everybody gets a chance to come in here and say whatever they want. It's unexpected. Of all the things we've ever talked about, that was the one thing that really seemed to get your goat.
Yeah. Just don't talk about the West Wing.
Oh,
see, now
there we go. We're back at it again. All right, here we go. We think this is what we consider to be news. Hold on. How do we get just news into 2 pieces of paper? It is really something.
Magic.
Come on, everybody. Come aboard. One thing that my wife and I fight about all the time, and I secretly pulled a fast one on her the other night, and it didn't work.
Wow, that's a tease.
Thank you, gassy old lady. Oh, by the way, let me say something about that. It is for our own good that I do what I do. So I'm going to say that right now before, if she happens to be listening. And days in history. Brutus dies of suicide at 42 BC.
Oh.
Let's hit we didn't do it yesterday, so it's a day off, but who cares, right? The Federal Beautification Highway Bill. But it also goes back to the Burma Shave years. You don't know anything about Burma Shave, do you?
Nope.
Anybody? No? Boy, Andrew's yawning. He hasn't started yet.
That's a new one.
Screw on you. All right, screw on you.
Whoa. Screw on me?
I don't know. Well, it's all right there. Boy, after the beginning of the show, Katie Wilson's not going to want to come on.
Yeah.
Too late. She's already committed. Young upstart. Will she win? Will she become the next mayor of Seattle? We'll find out. Katie Wilson joining us at 4 o'clock. King County Council members. This seems like this has got Reagan Dunn's name all over.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
The stupid motorist law. The third bridge strike in 2 months, and I don't know what the law will do, but apparently he wants to do something about stupid motorists. Plus, the governor, who it's always funny because don't forget Trump's a Nazi, Trump's a fascist, Trump's Hitler. The whole administration is authoritarian, and we're going to fight him every step of the way, and we're going to do this and do that. We hate him, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, by the way, some guy knocked our bridge down. Can you give us $15 million or give us $30 million?
It's not describable.
It is not. Thank you. It is not. Yeah, so where is that thing, Joe? We now declare whereas you want your money. The governor has said, well, listen, we're going to need a whole bunch of money in order to fix the bridge. So let's go to the federal government and have the Federal Highway Emergency Group give us a whole bunch of money. But again, don't forget, they're horrible people, but we need their money.
That's blood money.
What?
That's blood money.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, there you go. Photog Steve names the driver. Oh, we found the name of the driver, the guy that was driving the truck?
Yep.
What do we know about the guy?
He was not an illegal immigrant.
Okay. That's the news.
He can read.
Okay.
English.
What else about him?
Elderly fella. He's white.
I don't see color.
That's right.
What else?
I don't know. I'll have to look again. That's all I remember.
Was he drunk?
No, I don't think so.
Was he blind when he left his 2 fun legs behind?
And now you know the rest of the story.
Again, I don't think Katie Wilson's going to want to come on because the beginning of the show is so crappy.
This is great. You kidding?
Obamacare premiums. Oh, I did a little explaining for you on this thing. Why healthcare or medical care, or whatever you want to call it, is so expensive in the United States. As you look at the numbers, and we're hearing about all these people are going to lose their medical, and
double in
the whole thing needs to be completely broken apart. You need to create a real marketplace. And I'll break it down in really, really simple things, so that way next time you're at some gathering, you go,
party?
oh, did you know? Yeah. Then Department of Homeland Security tweeting the hype video of their arrival in Portland. I'm sure that only pissed off a whole bunch of people. And then, so the guy, Peter Thiel, who got his start was with, how was his first big thing that broke out and he made all that money? Is anyone on? He's one of the 7 big investors in other things as well. Come on, was it PayPal?
Yes,
PayPal.
yes.
So Thiel makes a whole bunch of money in PayPal. Then he takes all his billions of dollars. Then he starts to invest in other businesses as well. He's all part of the Silicon dynasty. Well, he gave a 7-hour speech the other day.
4 days.
It was 4 days?
4 days, 7 hours each day.
Yeah, crazy. And he talks about AI, but then he also talks about the Antichrist. And I started watching about an hour and a half of it. I'm like, what the huh? But luckily, our buddy from Reason, Jack Nick Castro, is going to come by. He actually watched the whole thing. So what is Peter Thiel talking about when he's talking about the Antichrist? See, I like about Thiel. Here's the other thing he does. He used to say, I'll tell you what, if you don't go to college, I think he said, if you don't go to college, I'll give you $200,000, $250,000, or $100,000, whatever the number was. Don't go to college. I'll give you money as seed money for you to then create whatever it is you want to create. If you're an entrepreneur, I'll give you the money for that. But don't waste it in college.
Does that offer still stand?
I don't know. And then my son's going to come by, talk about the NBA with the head coach and the big poker scheme tied to organized crime. Well, what they were able to do, right? They had the X-ray vision so you could see underneath the cards, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, among other things.
And then all the mafia is involved in this. And then we're also throwing games, too.
Yes.
Now there's evidence of the guy was hurt, wasn't hurt. Oh, he misses a shot or he misses a foul shot in order to shave the points.
Yep.
People have always thought that was happening in sports.
It's pretty much always been happening, but they caught somebody.
It's like the great scene from On the Waterfront We'll have to get that one where there's money on Johnson. You saw some money. I could have taken the guy apart. You ever seen the scene?
No.
Yeah, and he's basically Marlon Brando's in the back seat with his brother.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And he
You
says,
guys always talk about
Yeah, he got a one-way ticket to Palookaville. Boy, we are all over the place. Who's had too much caffeine?
I offered you another cup and you said no.
YouTubers talking to each other or not?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Still, guys, it's not you. You, the people of the John Curley Show. Thank you. You didn't ruin it. Some other show. Those listeners got all pissy with one another. And then it caused the rest of everybody else has to suffer because a few people don't follow the rules. So
somebody showed up at somebody else's place.
We don't talk about it.
Is it Contender, the movie?
No, on the waterfront.
Okay.
Okay, finally, this. I was thinking. When you're married for a third time, you kind of have learned what you like to do and what you don't like to do, because at that point, you got about another, 20 years of life. I don't argue with my wife about a whole bunch of things. We basically have an understanding, because when she asked me to marry her, I said, let me tell you something. I am not changing. This is it. What you see is what you get. She says, well, I have no intention of changing you. I'm just going to make a few minor adjustments along the way. I said, well, how does this work? And she goes, well, imagine an amplifier with a whole bunch of little buttons. And some of them are at 7 and 8, and some are at 9, maybe a few are at 3. I'm just going to make a few adjustments on the amplifier. Just turn down a few switches and turn up other switches. When I said to her, well, what if I want to make a few adjustments on you? She goes, well, whatever that adjustment button is that you think you need to turn up, I'll just turn yours all the way down so you don't make any adjustments on me. I said, oh, I see how this works. We agree on just about everything, except for one thing. And the thing that we disagree on would actually extend my life, her life, and it would make our lives that much more enjoyable. And at the same time, it would also extend the life of the things that we love, our dogs. Letting your dog sleep with you in the bed has been discussed now for years. In fact, there was a study done by the Mayo Clinic that says that you will actually sleep better if your dog is sleeping with you, if the dog is under 40 pounds. Now, I don't think that's fair to somebody like Big Twig, seen there in that video. Now, Lily would fit the bill. She's under 40 pounds. So the Mayo Clinic did a test with more than 3,000 people, and they had them sleep with the dog and without the dog. And they found there's something about the rhythm of the dog's breathing and yours, the closeness of the dog, the energy of the dog. They can't quite put it directly into scientific data, but for some reason, you sleep better if you sleep with a dog. Now, there's another study out there that I quickly found, and I didn't bother to source it because I knew it was a pile of crap, but I didn't care. It was that your dog will live 10 times longer if you let it sleep in the bed with you.
10 times?
That's exactly what I thought. 80-year-old dog.
Wow.
What's that smell? Wait, the dog's still alive? Anyway, I didn't bother showing her that one because I knew she would have thrown that one out. But generally, the idea of having the dog in bed with you, I find to be quite comforting. I love it. They want to be in bed with you. They want to be next. They're a pack. They're pack animals. They know where the alpha is. That's me. And then they want to be close in there. And they want to protect you as well. This is part of their basic instincts. To put a bed on the floor off to the side because it's more convenient or more sterile or whatever it is not part of the general idea that the dogs understand. So the dog in the bed. Well, the other day, I thought I'd test it. So I woke up in the middle of the night around 12:30, and I went downstairs. Of course, both dogs followed me down there because, one, they want to go outside and pee, and two, they also know pee, treat. They come back in and they get a treat. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to sleep in a different bedroom. So I went downstairs and opened up one of the barn doors, and I got in this bed. And as soon as I laid down, I patted the bed, and both dogs were like, what the hell? Hey! Like a teenager when they see their parents go away, they call all their friends and they're going to have a big beer party or something. Both dogs hop up. They're like, well, I don't know where to go. Me neither, but this is great. We're in the bed. And Twiggy got right up behind me. She laid her back against my back, which was exactly what they say in the Mayo Clinic is supposed to happen. And then Lily did a couple of circles, and then she got in front of me, and I put my arm around her, and I slept like a rock for about an hour and a half until I hear My little Greek wife with her hard heels banging down on the stairs comes downstairs, and as she makes the turn, both dogs awaken and bolt off the bed. There were like the cartoon smoke, and I think also the cartoon where they move so quickly they left their skeleton behind. That's how fast they got off the bed. And Nick comes down and goes, "What are you doing sleeping in the bed by yourself? What are you doing down here?" I was like, I just thought I'd sleep down here for a little while. Both dogs are looking at me like, we won't say anything if you don't say anything. If I get to the point in my life where it's like, I got limited time, I'm going to tell Nick, you know what? Screw it. You don't like it? Too bad. I want the dogs in the bed. And it really does break down between two groups of people, those that are absolutely diametrically opposed to anybody having dogs in the bed. And then there are people that I've seen on Instagram that I'm now following that have like 8 or 9 dogs that climb up into the bed. Have you seen that video?
No.
That's crazy. They got little steps that lead because the older dog needs his spot and the little one has their spot, and they all tuck in there. As far as it being gross or disgusting because the dogs are dirty, so are you. I saw a study a while ago, and it was a long time ago when Tom and I were doing the show, that when you get out of bed and if you have been overheated at all during the night and left a little bit of sweat, if your sheets are moist and then you put the top cover back over, it is a breeding ground for a bunch of bugs. And I remember I told Tom that he's not going to make the bed until after the sheets have kind of come to room temperature. So it's not like we don't have a bunch of germs as well. The dog's in the bed. I'll let you know how this goes. Hopefully Nick is not watching or listening right now, but this will be the one hill that I'm willing to die on with my dogs. That'll be living 10 years longer than me. There you go. All right. Are you're a dog in a bed person?
Absolutely.
And you don't even sleep. You just work here all the time.
Yeah, but he doesn't like dogs either.
That's right.
Hey,
Oh,
no.
That is an oversimplification.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? No.
Oh.
He doesn't care for dogs. I
Right,
don't
because when
trust
we
dogs.
asked, why can't we have dogs at the building?
Yeah.
And then you actually said initials of somebody, and none of us thought it were your initials. And then we realized later on, oh my God, it was him.
He's the one that is.
It was
is
Colonel Mustard in the
single-handedly-
study without
That's
a
right.
dog. All right. Sorry about all that, everybody. Here comes Nate. Check your traffic, Nathan.
All right, this report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both 50 minutes. No surprises on either route. Linwood to Seattle, plan on 35. It's bumper to bumper from Lake City Way down to I-90. North 5 heading into Seattle, packed as you approach the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Bellevue to South Center is at a half hour. You're really thick from Southeast 8th to Cold Creek Parkway. Then you'll thin out, but then you've got another hefty backup through South Center. Out toward Maple Valley, southbound 169 is heavy coming off 405 out to the golf course. About a 2-mile thick backup here. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, slowly improving. We're down to 50 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia is at 35 minutes. The Emerald Queen Casino is the entertainment capital of the Northwest, the best place to watch all your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, I saw today in the Wall Street Journal that houses are starting to sell more than ever. In fact, it is over. The big bottleneck that was holding so many people back from thinking about selling their house has broken because mortgage rates are now down to a 3-year low. So that means they're coming out. And when they're coming out, you're going to be competing against the house down the street, the one around the corner, the one a couple of blocks away. So you're now competing against everybody else that waited. And everybody has a number in mind as to what they think their house is worth. But don't forget that number has to be adjusted because what did the other house sell for down the street? So what's the best thing you can do? Mike Novak. That's it. Mike Novak. And let's hope the person down the street is not hearing this because, well, you want to hire Mike Novak. Why? Because Mike Novak will put his money where his mouth is. He says, listen, if I don't sell your house in 21 days, you don't pay me a commission. I didn't do a good enough job for you. So if I don't sell it in 21 days, no commission. And he is also putting his money where his mouth is, and it's a lot of money. In fact, Mike Novak spends 70 times more than the average agent when it comes to making sure that your house is seen and shown and sold. You ready for this? MeetTheNovaks.com. That's MeetTheNovaks.com. I'll spell Novak. Novak. MeetTheNovaks.com.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hart.
And I'm Amanda Factor, and it's almost Friday.
We'll have the day's top stories. Sully has traffic every 10 minutes.
Broadway's longest-running American musical has landed in Seattle.
It's Chicago at the 5th Avenue.
We'll hear from the actors who play Roxy Hart and her rival, Velma Kelly.
Paul Holden has your weekend planner.
Join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. You know what's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during our great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? Our great rebate event ends October 27th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're honored to share that the Harnish Auto family has partnered with Mobile Memo Northwest to donate on your behalf. For every test drive at any of our 6 dealerships, including Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup, or Kia and Chevy of Everett. No purchase necessary, just hop in and take a spin. Together, we can make a huge difference in the fight against breast cancer. Harnish Auto Family, where people matter.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits, like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. We are hearing from the Pierce County Sheriff today after one of his majors was charged with DUI vehicular assault. Sheriff Keith Swank says he's now investigating several deputies who were at the scene of that crash back in July.
As soon as I received this document and reviewed it, and the undersheriff reviewed it, we opened an investigation into all the conduct of the deputies involved at the scene that day.
Court documents indicate those deputies either failed to turn on or turned off their body cameras. Prosecutors say Major Chad Dickerson crashed his pickup into an SUV in Graham. It had a family of 6 inside. It injured a boy and his grandmother. At least one NBA player and a coach have been indicted in 2 federal cases targeting illegal gambling. CBS's Scott McFarland reports one case involves high-stakes card games with links to the mafia.
They had what they called face cards. Famous people who'd sit at the table, including the very well-known basketball coach and basketball player Chauncey Billups, to draw the victims into the game. The mob ties are an enhancement. All of this is a mess.
The other case involves sharing insider information about players. The feds arrested more than 30 people in all. Sticker shock is setting in for those who buy health insurance under the Affordable Care Act. Nanette and her husband just went looking for insurance on the state's Apple Care health exchange.
The estimate for our premiums was going to include a $400 a month increase. That's close to $5,000 a year.
These higher costs are one of the key issues at the center of the government shutdown. Democrats like Washington U.S. Senator Patty Murray say Republicans are refusing to extend tax credits that lower monthly premiums.
We are nearly a week away from a complete healthcare disaster.
But Republicans say they want to pass a spending bill to reopen the government before negotiating on those credits. CBS's Erica Brown reports on day 23 of the government shutdown.
Thursday, the Senate failed to advance a Republican proposal to pay federal workers and military members who are working during the shutdown without pay.
The motion is not agreed to.
Democrats who rejected the proposal argued the bill would give the White House broad authority to determine which federal workers get paid and which do not.
And that takes us to 3:32. We now have Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. Tacoma Holiday Festival's got the update. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both 50-minute commutes this afternoon with just very typical mid-afternoon backups in front of you. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. It's bumper to bumper from Lake City Way down to I-90. Our lake bridges are all clear. Bellevue to South Center's at a half hour. It's thick from Southeast 8th to Coal Creek, and then you're going to thin out, but it's still crowded in Renton, and then another pretty thick backup along South Center. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute commute. We've got scattered backups between Renton and Auburn, and then catch a little break, and then another pretty solid backup from Algona into Sumner. In Federal Way, South 5, it's bumper to bumper as you approach South 320th, where we just cleared a crash out of your way. It's over on your right shoulder. The Tacoma Holiday Festival, presented by Puyallup Chocolates, is October 23rd through the 26th at the Tacoma Dome. Buy tickets at holidaygiftShows.com. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies right now. Some showers starting to move in along the coast at this moment. And tomorrow going to be very wet region-wide and also windy. Right now, 63 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granello, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance. It comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. There's only one. That's Home Comfort Alliance. You know what's weird about the shutdown right now? When the Democrats with Biden put in there that the amount of money that they were spending during the COVID increased during COVID for Medicaid, Medicare, and Obamacare, they wrote in there December 31st, 2025, these things will expire and the number will go back to pre-COVID. So it's already written in there. They already wrote it in there. But now they are holding things up. Anyway. Heard that, but I'd throw that in there. 1-888-973-5476. Here's what we're doing. Katie Wilson, running for mayor, will be in here at 4 o'clock, hopefully, or she'll meet us on the phone somewhere.
No, she'll be here.
And then I got a question for Katie. We'd love to hear from you. 1-888-973-5476. And then Mayor Bruce Harrell comes in on Friday. Wow, it is a mayoral candidate Lollapalooza. This day in history. I already mentioned Brutus dying by suicide, 42 BC. The first National Women's Rights Convention began in 1850.
Oh, my favorite.
In 1965, LBJ gives the signs for the Highway Beautification Act. He signs that thing. And then in 1983, the Beirut barracks blows up. I know somebody that was there.
Really?
Darn, I wish I'd seen that. I would have called him. Oh, darn it all. I'm going to slide that for tomorrow. Doctor is killed in an by an anti-abortion radical in 1998. 2002, the hostage crisis there at the Moscow Theater. A lot of dark stuff happening on this particular day. Let's do about you didn't put it in there, but it was also on this day that Abraham Lincoln decided that he was going to suspend habeas corpus. So he did this because, well, don't forget we're in the middle of a war, or the beginning of the war. He did many things to sort of bust through the Constitution, but in this particular one, habeas corpus was basically that you get a chance to go before a jury, or at least you're innocent until proven guilty. But he decided he was going to slowing things down. So he suspends it. That was one of the first things he did when it came to the Constitution. He basically blew right over the Constitution. Habeas corpus was one, declaring the war, trying to get why do those states, where does it say in the Constitution the states can't leave? A variety of different things, censoring newspapers, censoring speech. He kind of went right over all of that. But on this day with habeas corpus, he decided that, he's going to just do what he wants and just going to around and arrest as many people as he possibly could. Thousands of political opponents, suppressing free speech, got rid of that. And then it was with the Chief Justice, Roger Taney, with the Supreme Court. When they were asked whether or not it was constitutional, he said it's not constitutional to suspend habeas corpus, and Lincoln just ignored him. There you go. Do you ever think you hear Latin habeas corpus? Bring the body or show the body? I think that's what it translates to.
This sounds
whatever.
familiar.
Moving on. You don't want that. You know what you want? You want the Highway Beautification Act.
Wait a minute.
Here you go. It was back on this day in 1965.
We have placed a wall of civilization between us and between the beauty of our land.
Yeah.
In our eagerness to expand and to improve, we have relegated nature to a weekend role, and we've banished it from our daily lives.
Okay, so what happened is Lady Bird Johnson didn't like the fact that all these billboards were showing up on the side of highways, so they were going to do something about it. They said, well, you've got to take the billboards down, or you got to move them further back, and they have to be a certain size. Well, the problem was those billboards were owned by people, and they were in states. So then they said, well, you got to pay the owners of the billboards. Well, who's going to pay? The state said. Well, the federal government says, we're not going to pay. You have to pay. Well, then we're not going to pay. And then the whole thing basically just completely fell apart because they had all sorts of other rules and stuff. They worked around it because the advertisers that were advertising on those billboards, like the billboards, they were quite effective for them. Plus, the people that owned the billboards were able to get in there and say, this is killing us. So they gummed it up as much as possible, and they basically gutted the entire act, and it really didn't have any effect at all. What really drove the billboards away was the fact that people were driving faster, plus radio and television advertising was more effective than billboards because you'd only see it once as you go blowing by the thing, and it really wasn't working. CBS Radio, CBS TV liked the fact that billboards were going to be outlawed because they said, ooh, that's more advertising dollar for us. The other kind of weird part about billboards, small ones anyway, was Burma Shave. You might remember this, you might not. It was in 1927, a little company that was going to get into this idea of being able to shave without the brush and the soap. You put the Burma Shave on, and then you shave that way. They would set up signs because they realized people traveling at about 35 miles an hour would read the first sign, and then the next sign, and the next sign. They were separated by about 100 feet, and they were little cute little sayings, like you'd be driving down the road in your car, and you'd come across the first red sign. It would say, use this cream, and then you'd travel another couple of feet. It says, a day, and then another feet, or two, and, you read, and then call her, and then the next one, she'll call you, Burma Shave. People look forward to these things. They were all over, about 7,000 of them all around the United States. And some states didn't have them because it was too windy or it was too hard to maintain them. But the Burma Shave signs, everybody wanted to see them. In fact, they became so popular that Burma Shave said, I'll tell you what, we'll give you $100. We'll give you $100 if you can write a good Burma Shave poem. So people were sending them in. They sent so many in, more than 50,000 of them, that they had to hire an advertising company to go through all of them. And they would put them up along the side of the highway. Here's one of my favorites right here. I think there's something wrong with the car. A Christmas hug, a birthday kiss awaits this woman who gives this Burma Shave. I don't know. Substitutes
What's your favorite?
Are like a girdle. They find some jobs they just can't hurdle. Burma Shave. He's lonesome or just blind. This guy who drives so close behind. Burma Shave. They're all gone, by the way. All of them. Because people started driving faster. And you couldn't possibly read them. You'll go, what's that? Well, it's gone. So they stopped putting them up. The only Burma Shave sign that's still there is in the Museum of History and Industry in New York, in Washington, D.C., which you can't go to because it's closed right now.
Oh, honey.
Got it?
Yep. I found the song, the Roger Miller song.
Yeah, Burma Shave. Let's see where it is. Billboards. Oh, Roger Miller. Here we go.
Way down yonder by the forks of the branch, the old sow whistle and the little pigs dance. Burma Shave. Burma, Burma Shave. I bet I've seen a million rows of them little red poetic signs up and down the line. Come on, one more time. Yonder goes Willie. He's passing on a hill. He don't dress nice, but he drives fit to kill. Burma Shave. Burma Shave. I bet I've seen a million rows of them little red poetic signs up and down the line. Get up, tally-ho.
Past schoolhouses, take it slow. Let the little shavers grow. Burma Shave. There you go.
Had a lot of pages.
Got it. Very nice, huh?
Within this veil of toil and sin, your head grows bald, but not your chin. You need Burma Shave. Why Burma Shave? Demonstration. Put other lathers on a blotter. Then circle with new Burma Shave. Minutes later, Burma Shave soaks rings around them all to give you a smooth, clean shave. Try new Burma Shave. And also try new Burma Blockade spray deodorant.
Okay, I was lost. I had no idea what she's doing there selling that.
A little demonstration, I believe.
It helps visual. We're doing radio here, folks. This is the future. Here's Nate taking a look at traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. Washington 811 has the update. Everett to Marysville, we're looking really good this afternoon. It's just 10 minutes to make this trip. Linwood to Seattle hovering at a half hour. You're packed at Lake City Way to I-90. North 5 is now solid from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to South Center a half hour. Now you're solid from 520 to the VMAC, but we're starting to clear out pretty quickly now down through South Center. North 405, you're slow through the Renton S-Curve. Seattle to Federal Way is at 40 minutes. Scattered backups between 405 and South 320th and Federal Way, where a collision is on your right shoulder. It was blocking for a while, and that's added to these scattered backups. Outside of this, nothing surprising out there. If you're digging in your yard, the law requires you to call 811 to avoid dangerous and costly damages to utility lines. Call 811 or submit online at digsafewa.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, if you're out there driving and maybe in the left-hand side of your windshield, you get that little plastic, little thing reminding you that you should change the oil and the fluids in the car. Why? Because, well, it tells you how many miles you should drive before you change them or what time of the year you should change them. And you do. You dutifully do that because you know if you don't take care of the car, it begins to fail you. And then you've got yourself a very big expense trying to replace the engine or something else that's gone wrong because you want to take care of the car. But the weirdest thing is when it comes to yourself, you don't do the same type of work. You're not proactive. You wait till there's a problem, and then you go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, we got to try to solve this. What if you were proactive? Just like that little sign there in the windshield, and you were working with Longevity Medical Clinic, where the doctors for 25 years have been using the latest science to proactively help you as you're aging, not to feel all the effects of aging, just extending your life by keeping the big bad ones like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer away for as long as possible. Be proactive right now. Take that free health analysis like I did back in 2009 for LongevityMedicalClinic.com.
a KIRO News Radio exclusive.
This is Charlie Harder. I've spent the past 6 weeks investigating a story involving a youth pastor, child abuse, a mayor, and a name change, all while civic leaders appear to look the other way.
I've read the police report. It is horrible. It is sickening.
There's some level of calculation there.
You have to make it right.
How does no one have a problem with it?
Watch the full story at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio YouTube page.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X, outsmart the elements.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Kia just dropped the biggest EV deals we've ever seen. Save thousands on the EV6, EV9, Niro EV, and more at Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
All right, for those of you who are doing any traveling, so the I-90 right there near Bullfrog, right? So the repairing the overpass, the governor has sent out a where is sort of thing, and they're basically asking for the Federal Highway Administration emergency funds will be found, will support and expedite the process of repairing the damage. So I'm going to give you the total amount. I remember when the Skagit River, this was the one that happened. This is May 23rd, 2013, 7 o'clock at night, a span of the bridge, Interstate 5, Skagit River. I think one person went under. Remember that, Andrew? One person went under, another one went under, and then the top of their whatever it was too high. You remember this?
No,
Where were you? You remember this?
In the industry at that time.
Oh, you weren't in the industry. Okay.
There's old East Wing Nate. He probably.
All right. Well, it took out the top of the thing, and then big problems. The nice thing is that at that time, WSDOT was able to complete the project in record time. They gave all sorts of incentives, like if you get it done sooner, you're going to be able to get this amount of money. And they really worked hard to get it done. They got the whole thing completed. I forget how much money they got from the federal government to help build it, rebuild it. But it was the trust that got knocked out. Which is always kind of weird. It's like, oh, you're Hitler, but hey, can you give us money? It's like the kid who hates their stepfather, but then all of a sudden, can you buy me a car?
Hey, the good thing about that Bullfrog overpass, they're going to start tearing it down tonight. They're working to clear I-90 by early next week.
Yeah, I guess they would have to, right? Same thing with I-5. It's a big interstate.
True.
You need that thing. But they're taking the whole?
No, just the westbound 90 portion.
Okay.
And then they haven't set a date yet when they're going to rebuild it. They'll let us know as soon as that happens. But the estimated price tag is $8 million.
So what does everybody have to do if you're coming from say Ellensburg? They're going to make you go up and around, up past Suncadia and come on down?
No. You can still use the exit, the on and off ramp at Bullfrog.
So okay, but you have to get over to Bullfrog.
You can't come down Bullfrog.
You can't?
No, they're not letting you access westbound 90 from Bullfrog. They're leaving that wide open so it runs continuously across the ramp.
So how people coming from Ellensburg and they're on I-90, how do they continue to go if they can't go under that underpass?
No, I'm sorry. Let me explain this better.
Please.
You can take the Bullfrog Road off ramp and then rejoin it by using the Bullfrog on ramp.
Yeah, so just be one lane that goes right around, goes off the on-ramp and right back on.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you can't obviously cross it.
Got it. Thank you.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine.
Makes no sense. Listen to this lyric.
I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him a drink his wine.
Yeah, he's a bullfrog.
Yeah, he's always got some.
But then if I were the king of the world. Dog Night.
Joy to the fishes and the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
There's what it makes those.
If I were the king of the world, tell you what I do.
No kings.
Go with the cars and the bars and the war. Make sweet love to you.
I throw away the what and the what?
The cars and the bars and the war. The cars, the bars, and the war, and then make sweet love to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a deal.
What about the bars? Like an alcohol serving
Maybe
bar?
like the jail bars? I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, by the way, that was not news. So you took the show off track.
But Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Okay. Well, he's a good friend of mine. All right, thank you.
Whereas
Throw away the throw the cars, the bars, and the wars in the bottom of the world, and then make sweet love to you.
Yes.
Seems like a long day. I don't think you're gonna have a lot of energy. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan?
The Emerald Queen Casino's got the update in Lakewood, North 5 of Bridgeport Way. We've got a collision. It's on the right shoulder, but drivers are stopping at the scene to check it out, so you've got a brief backup there. Nothing too big. Tacoma to Olympia, 45 minutes. Your biggest slowdown is a 2-mile backup at the JBLM main gate. You're looking pretty good. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. Scattered backups from Tukwila into Federal Way. The further south you go, the more this separates. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 50-minute commute. Seattle to Everett, 55 55 minutes are crowded from Lake City Way through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, also 55 minutes are crowded from Kirkland into Canyon Park. And looking at our lake bridges, both of them are wide open in both directions. The Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest, the best place to watch all your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, quick story about my messed up hip. Here's what happened. I got a bad hip. I go to this doctor. He's like, well, you're going to need to get your hip replaced. I was like, what? At my age? He goes, wait, how old are you? I told him. He said, we can't do it for a while. You had to wait. So then I hear about Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, there at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I go in there. The first thing I feel when I meet Dr. Wagner is confidence and hope. This guy has been a physician for 30 years. He's performed more than 20,000 stem cell procedures. He takes a look at my x-rays. He goes, yeah, this is going to work. This is good. We can fix this. So I get a stem cell procedure from Dr. Wagner, like so many of other people have as well. Because if you've got a problem with bone on bone when it comes to the knees, and maybe your shoulder is bad or your hip, anything like that, if you're considering surgery, wait a minute, and go and talk to Dr. Mark Wagner, because stem cell procedure might be the best move for you. It has been for me. You're going to love it. Go meet Dr. Mark Wagner. Talk to him. drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
The voice of the Mariners for 40 years.
There it is, number 60, the modern-day Bambino.
The Rick Riz Show on Seattle's Morning News.
Rick. We have finally reached the end of the baseball season.
Oh, Amanda.
Have you recovered yet?
Oh, what a year. You know, it was the best year on the field in the history of the franchise. One that I'll never forget, and I don't think the fans will ever forget either.
Get the full conversation on the KIRO Newsradio app and at mynorthwest.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck's about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he sells it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
What's better than soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa? Knowing you got it for an incredible price during Olympic Hot Tub's great rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I love this guy. Paulie Sweet Smell Fabrizi.
Weekdays noon to 3.
Shut up. It's a real name. I swear to you. His last name's Fabrizi.
You like Febreze?
I don't like fake smells.
The problem that I have with it, now that I have babies, and babies are constantly like putting their face all over everything. Just you might as well just go spray your baby.
And you know how kids get on couches when they're little? Face first.
That's right.
They plant their face, use that as a pivot point.
Kids stink all the time. So if anybody could use Febreze, it'd be a kid because they smell so bad.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube.
Get set for fall entertaining with incredible deals at Dania Furniture. The Fall Entertaining Sale features huge savings on select furniture and decor for every space, from dining and living rooms to guest spaces ready for overnight stays. Refresh your home today and make it holiday ready just in time for the gathering season ahead, but only for a limited time. Dania Furniture. We make it simple, you make it home. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
Food insecurity during government shutdown.
There was some frustration at lawmakers in Washington, D.C.
Gambling and sports rigging.
Envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra.
Illinois governor on federal immigration enforcement.
The laws are being contravened.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. On day 23 of the government shutdown, the Senate fails to advance a GOP-backed measure that would pay federal employees, military members, and contractors who have continued to work. Texas military spouse Haley Rodriguez's message to lawmakers.
You're willing to sacrifice your paycheck to help us out and see what it's like to struggle, because it's not fair to us to watch you still get paid.
SNAP food aid benefits stand to be paused November 1st. Some military service members are relying on food banks. CBS's Omar Villafranca in Texas.
We are at the Armed Services YMCA that's here in Harker Heights, right by Fort Hood. And we got here at about 5 a.m. At 5:30, there was already a line of people here. We even talked to some people online who military wives or spouses, and they're telling us, commanding officers are telling them, we're not sure if that paycheck is going to happen on November 1st.
Dozens of people, including former and current NBA players and a coach, have been charged in connection with 2 investigations into an alleged sports betting scheme involving players who faked injuries and organized crime gambling using sophisticated cheating technologies. FBI Director Kash Patel.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years.
The NBA says that Rozier and Billups are being put on leave. After speaking with San Francisco's mayor, President Trump calls off sending federal agents to that city to likely carry out immigration enforcement efforts. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi.
He's giving him the opportunity to make some progress in San Francisco, and if he doesn't, they will send in more federal agents. But for right now, the president says we will not surge in San Francisco on Saturday, which is what they were planning, but he did add stay tuned.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signs an executive order establishing the Illinois Accountability Commission, which he says will collect testimony, videos, and firsthand accounts of harassment by ICE agents during the immigration enforcement operation in Chicago. In an exclusive interview with CBS News, Pritzker criticizes Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino.
U.S. citizens and legal residents being detained for hours, kids being zip-tied. These are all things that the superiors and supervisors, including Bovino and the people above him, should be holding people accountable for and pulling them off the line.
Stocks rise on Wall Street. Now this.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
Coming up, a damaged overpass is about to come down on I-90. It's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Tacoma Holiday Festival's got our update. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both pushing an hour this afternoon. 405 is crowded. Make that I-5 is crowded from Lake City Way through Linwood. 405, you're crowded from Kirkland into Canyon Park. Then you'll catch a nice breather before you jam up again at that Alderwood interchange. Linwood to Seattle has gone up to 40 minutes. It's bumper to bumper from Lake City Way to I-90. Bellevue to Renton will take you a half hour. Heavy volumes from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. Seattle to Federal Way, a 45-minute drive. Pretty solid from Tukwila down about 516 in Kent. And then from there, it's scattered backups through Federal Way. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we're down to 45 minutes. The Tacoma Holiday Festival, presented by Puyallup Chocolates, is going on today through the 26th at the Tacoma Dome. Buy tickets at holidaygift.shows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Big changes are coming to I-90 near Cle Elum. The Bullfrog Road overpass, damaged by a truck carrying an overheight load, has to be demolished. KIRO News Radio's Chris Sullivan figured that would be the case when he saw pictures of the damage.
There's no way they're going to be able to repair this because the damage, all 6 concrete girders were struck by this oversized vehicle and the load it was carrying. And we have rebar, we've got pieces of metal, concrete dangling over the freeway.
Demolition starts tonight. WashDOT hopes to reopen westbound lanes early next week. A series of recent arsons is now under investigation in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports.
6 fires were set in the Central District, Mount Baker, and Rainier Beach neighborhoods between October 17th and October 22nd. The fires involved homes, a commercial building, a car, and even a portable toilet. Back in July and August, several other fires were intentionally set in that same area. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Police have released a suspect's photo in at least one of these arsons. We are posting it on mynorthwest.com. A 56-year-old man is dead after a hit and run in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with more on the search for that suspect.
Seattle Police Detective Eric Munoz says the victim was crossing 15th Avenue near 73rd in Ballard Wednesday night in a spot not designated for crossing.
They were crossing the street diagonally southbound when they were struck by that vehicle.
Paramedics worked on the victim at the scene, but say he died in the street. Police say the suspect's car is a silver sedan, most likely with front-end damage. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Well, the emotions are still raw for Mariners executives after that painful Game 7 loss in the ALCS. Speaking to the media today, General Manager Justin Hollander reflected on the good times in that series, including a Game 5 grand slam by Gino Suarez.
Just seeing what that means to people in Seattle. They deserve it. They really do. I'm sorry, guys. And I was so happy for them.
Hollander took the blame for not reaching the World Series. He says the front office will add more to next season's roster. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy right now. We have some showers moving in along the coast tonight. Rainy for tomorrow and also windy and unsettling weather into the weekend. Right now, 63 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Democracy is the notion that the general public knows what it wants and should get it good and hard.
H.L. Mencken. By Todd Myers right there. All right. All right, boy. She made it in. By the way, I should be concerned because Katie Wilson has a sick child at home, so I'm assuming I'm going to get whatever the kids got. But whatever, I'm going to do it for democracy. Diving in. There we go. All right, Katie Wilson, you young upstart. Last time we spoke, right there, you were the challenger to Bruce Harrell, and then you're doing well in the polls, and here you are in the New York Times today. How about that? It's been quite the journey.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, I don't normally tip off questions ahead of time, but when I told Joe last night we were having dinner, I said, I'm going to ask Katie this question. He says, oh my God, I'm going to tell her ahead of time. You ready?
I'm ready. Go for it.
So my therapist, John Mace, used to say to me every time I go in there and see him, so John Michael, what'd you learn about yourself today? And that was the set for me to be able to go, what did I learn in the last 2 weeks? Week was the last time I was in here. So it's taking account for choices that I made, how they turned out, and what did I learn about myself. You have been on this journey now since you declared that you're running for mayor. It's been how long? Like 11 months, 12 months? More than that, right?
Oh, less than that. I decided to run in February, so it's been just 7 or 8 months. It's wild.
I was giving you some extra credit. Maybe put some more time into it. All right. So, Katie Wilson, what'd you learn about yourself?
You know, it's a good question, and it was only transmitted to me, maybe an hour ago. So
It's fine. No, it shouldn't take you that long. It's big, but it's not. You can pick whatever you want, because when you run for office, everybody's coming after you. People bringing stuff up, right? Yeah. And then it hurts or it doesn't hurt. Or what have you learned?
It's been a wild ride. And I think the thing which has been newest to me is being so much in the public eye, right? In the work that I've done over the years, I've always been more behind the scenes, and that's, I've been comfortable there.
Yeah.
And so being in this position where I'm out in public basically every single day, where people recognize me on the street, and also just that sense of having to respond to everything in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I'm surprised at how okay I've done with it, I guess.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's probably a good quality in a mayor, right? You're going to have emergencies every day. You're going to have to, focus on, okay, what are the things that actually need to happen right now, and let other things fall by the wayside. I think in my pre-campaign life, I'm someone who likes to be really on top of things, right? I respond to people when they reach out to me, so having to let some of that fall away and really focus on the most important things. So I feel like I've learned a lot through that.
Have you learned that you're tougher than you thought you were?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Because you get tested pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've watched every debate. I've listened to them all. My favorite was, what would you do if there was an earthquake? And you said, I guess I'd call somebody. I was like, okay, calling people's good.
I think the right answer to that is, duck and cover.
That would have been a good one. All right, so there's some ads. We tried to find some on television, not much out there. The New York Times has now had a piece on you guys today. So Bruce Harrell, 67 years old, upstart. What are you, 43?
43, and I gotta say, it's. I feel like when you get into your 40s, especially as a woman, you start feeling kind of, sensitive about your age. So it's nice to suddenly be in a profession where I'm young, and also where the age that I have is an asset, right? Like, people want that.
Here's the wild thing. We were talking about this last night at dinner. It's almost like a Netflix show. Like, she has no political experience, being elected official, but she decides she's going to run for mayor, and she wins. Right? There's a great movie that Robert Redford's in. It's called The Candidate. I was telling Joe about it. Do you know it? And at the end, so they have him run. He's supposed to just challenge this other guy, and he wins. And the final scene, not to ruin it for anybody, his campaign director walks by him. Do you remember this? He's in his hotel room. The lights are out. There's Robert Redford. And his campaign guy walks by. He goes, now what do I do? He won. Like, all of a sudden, he won. He caught the dog that catches the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you starting to get a sense of how big this job will be?
Oh, absolutely. And, it's that dawned on me much earlier on, right? I mean, I would not have jumped into this race if I wasn't serious about winning and governing, right? This wasn't something that I did just kind of off the cuff. And really coming out of the primary with 51% of the vote, at that moment, we all realized, like, this is serious.
Yeah.
And so we've been, seriously preparing to do transition planning.
Wait, it's like, oh my God, I'm at 51%. This is serious? It's like Trump is surprised you won in 2016, 17?
I just mean, you don't want to be sitting there on November 4th being like, oh God, what's next, right? So no, we've been doing a lot of serious work to make sure that I'm going to be ready to step into office and lead from day one. Although I will say, I mean, so the analogy that I've been thinking of as a mother, right, of a 2-year-old, it feels a little bit to me like, being pregnant and you're kind of so focused, if it's your first child at least, on the fact that you're going to have to give birth, and you're like, oh God, I got to push this baby out. Yes. It's crazy, and then like you're just focused on that, and then you do it, and you're like, I'm done. And
shit, I got to feed this thing.
I got a newborn.
Right.
So there's a little bit of that where we're like, we have to win this campaign. We got to focus on winning. But then, assuming we're successful, then it's like, okay, now we got to
feed and diaper the baby. All right. So the biggest hit against you that Bruce Harrell has is that you don't have any experience, right? Here he is. He's talking. Bruce lacks housing experience.
My opponent has zero housing experience. That's just the truth. That is just the absolute truth. She's done no work in this sector, and it's offensive to the people that have spent decades trying to solve this problem.
Okay. I think all of the problems of Seattle are all kind of mushed together, right? So it's housing, yes, affordable housing, yes, but then you also have crime, homelessness, and you got all those numbers. You push all that stuff in there, and you pull on one, then you have to sort of take apart all those pieces.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to money in, money out, and results. As a former taxpayer in Seattle, I still have to pay taxes here when I do sales. that the amount of money that's been spent, the numbers keep going up, right? You spend more money, but the homeless keep going up. And I think, here's a prediction, that since Burien and Everett now are really cracking down, you're going to see more and more people moving to Seattle, which will then be, well, we have even more homeless, we need even more money, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll say that there are going to be a lot of pressures that are going to tend to make more people homeless in Seattle. So, I mean, obviously, if other cities are cracking down, that's one thing. But there's also potential cuts to, HUD, to Section 8 vouchers that could mean that more people are losing the housing subsidies that they have right now. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be pressures that tend to make homelessness worse in Seattle for sure.
So there are a total amount of people that live below the poverty line in the United States. I think it's like 34 million or something like that. And then of those, 2% are homeless. So the question is like, so if you have so many people that are homeless, or so many people that live below the poverty but not homeless, but then 2% of the people below poverty are homeless, it's not just money. It also has to be some other things as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, although I would say that, that's a national figure.
Yeah, that is
and
national.
Just given how expensive the cost of living is in Seattle, and especially the cost of housing, you're going to see much higher rates of homelessness, even of people above the poverty line. I mean, there's lots of homeless people in Seattle who work full-time jobs, right? And they might live in their vehicle, or they might even live in a tent, right? But housing is so expensive that it's just really hard to afford that. So, yeah, I mean, that's more of an issue here. And really, if we look at it, right, we've had this tech boom for the last 10, 20 years. We've had population growth, and our housing stock hasn't grown to match, and that's really driven up rents. It's really driven up home prices, and so we have a much worse homelessness crisis here as a result.
What would you do because it's supply demand, it's basic economics. What do you do to encourage the building from the private sector? What do you do to encourage the private sector to create jobs? What do you do to just encourage economic growth in the city that seems to be a little bit more hell-bent on not encouraging those things? That it's harder for landlords, it's harder for building permits, it's just more difficult for those things. But you need to encourage the increase of supply of home and jobs in order to grow the economy, to keep it going. So if I'm a builder, I hear you, why would I vote for Katie Wilson? What are you going to do to help encourage me to want to build an apartment?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of this comes down to our land use and zoning laws, right? And the city's been going through a process now of figuring out our new comprehensive plan. But there's going to be more work to be done next year. So one of the things that we can do that I'm interested in is expanding the number of neighborhood centers around the city. And so those are areas where kind of like neighborhood business districts where you're allowed to build higher. You're allowed to build more multifamily housing. And, there's a lot of things we can do in our land use and zoning laws to make it possible for the private market to build more housing in the great neighborhoods all over the city, and we absolutely need to do that.
I heard a number, I don't know if this is still true, a couple of years ago, 85% of areas that could be built, basically the zoning does not allow for density.
Yeah, that's probably about right. And, that's starting to shift, right? We had a state law, House Bill 1110 recently that basically mandated that instead of single-family housing or zoning in most of the city, we have now what's called neighborhood residential. And so that allows 4plexes and in some cases 6plexes. So ideally, that is going to allow some of that kind of gentle middle housing density in neighborhoods throughout Seattle. But there's a lot of kind of devils in the details about how we make sure that actually pencils out and that we're getting that additional density.
Let me tell you about this. They did this in San Francisco because we often take a lot of San Francisco stuff. Your Proposition F, you know what that was? That when you come into San Francisco and you want to apply for, whatever, food stamps, whatever, that you have to take a blood test. You have to take a drug test. And if you don't pass, they don't give it to you. And in Washington, D.C., a number of years ago, I think it was 2012 or something, they said, listen, we're not supporting the people from Virginia that are homeless or Maryland. This is D.C. money. We're going to take care of D.C. people. So they tried to put in place kind of barriers from people just coming in there because they're like, look, we've got the D.C. taxes. We're going to take care of our D.C. homeless. Do you think it would be possible to sort of put up these invisible walls so that people from other cities just don't come here, so that the people of Everett take care of their homeless, so Seattle does not become the gathering place for homeless? Because the numbers will just continue to keep going up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that's the right approach to take. I mean, certainly within King County, it's true that a lot of people who become homeless in other cities end up coming to Seattle because that is where lots of the services are. That is where a lot of the shelter is. And so we do need those other cities to step up. But I don't think that trying to take a hard line here in Seattle on not helping people who become homeless somewhere else is the right way to do that.
But then when our numbers keep going up.
I mean, again, it's working with those other cities, making sure that they're doing their part. But also, we're just not. I mean, it's kind of natural in any big urban area, right? You're gonna have that inflow of people into wherever the urban center is, and so we just have to do better. I mean. It's not fun to be homeless in Seattle.
No.
So I think that we just need to do a better job of getting people into shelter and housing, and then at the same time be working with those other jurisdictions and getting them to do their part.
And what would be asked of the person who does come? So it may not be fun to be homeless in Seattle, but it's apparently more fun than being in Everett or Burien because they're coming here. So what would be asked of that individual that decides to come from some other place and come to Seattle? What are they responsible for? What will you ask of the homeless person?
I mean, I think we have to understand that a lot of the folks who are living unsheltered have had extremely traumatic lives, right? Like often coming from really broken families, abusive relationships, right? And so, it takes, the situation you're trying to get someone to, right, is a situation where, they see a path in life for themselves, right? If they're able to have a job, right, like, job training, they have a community, they have relationships with people who care about them. And the process of getting someone to that place is complex, and it's going to be different for different people. So, I don't think that, for example, making food stamps conditional on, passing a drug test, I just don't think that's going to be successful, and you're going to end up with a lot more desperate people on the street who end up contributing to our public safety problems. So, again, it's like different things for different people. But, for some people, a clean and sober kind of model of shelter works really well, right? I was talking to a fellow at a Nicholsville village where, he'd been on drugs and then he came in and, there was an expectation of not using drugs in that village, and that really worked well for him. So we need those kind of pathways. But then for some other people, right, you're going to need that more low barrier entrance where you realize that someone's going to, it's not going to be a straight line.
And that's the hard part for the whole thing, because each one of these situations, it is on an individual basis, which the government doesn't love, the government doesn't care. That's not the job of the government. Mm-hmm. It really is individuals. If you do win, I would hope that organizations like Union Gospel Mission, Bread of Life, and others that are out there directly involved on one-on-one get the support from the city. They don't, because they're Christian-based and separation of the church and the state. But they effectively do great work. So the other part of it is, so that's the service part of it, but the other part is the revenue side of it, which is, I was looking online, how many taxes that are going to be coming in under Katie Wilson. So this is something that you don't shy away from. Mm-hmm. You're simply saying people need to pay if they want to be living in the city of Seattle, and they're going to be able to benefit from all the great things of living in Seattle. They're going to have to pay because they haven't paid, is it quote unquote, their fair share?
Well, I think the fact is we still have this very regressive tax system here in Washington State, right? So that means that, the lower income households, working people, middle class people are paying a lot more of their income in state and local taxes than the wealthiest. So it's really a matter of trying to balance our tax code into something that's a little bit more equitable and where we're also getting the revenue that we need. Now, I also think it's very important that we're using the revenue that we are raising through taxes effectively and efficiently, right? Because it's very bad when people start losing faith in the ability of their government to use their tax dollars.
Do you think people are there at that point?
I think that, I think we are at a point where a lot of people are losing that faith. Now, I will say in Seattle, we are all very generous, for example, with our property tax levies. So we've not gotten to the point where Seattle voters have stopped approving tax levies to fund things. So I think we have a very civic spirit in Seattle where people recognize that taxes are how we fund the things that we all benefit from and the things that make Seattle a great city. So I don't think we're at the point in Seattle where people stop voting for taxes. But I do think that there is frustration, especially around homelessness and public safety with, why is all this money that we're spending not getting the results that we need to see?
So how far do you think they are? Like 10 is, I'm done, I'm out. I can't believe it. They keep wasting all the money. 0 is, here's some more money. Let's help the homeless. Where do you think they are on the sort of cynical scale I just made up?
I don't know. Different people are at different points.
I know, but just generally, you've been out there. You've been talking to the people. You know how much the temperature is rising. Obviously, they want change, or maybe they don't want change. They maybe want to stick with Bruce Harrell and his plan, or maybe they see you as more aggressive on that. But do you think people have reached that point where, like, you know what? I can't take this anymore.
I don't think we're at a breaking point in that sense. No, I don't. But I do think that people are hungry for results and action, and they need to see that, right? And I do think that we can do better with the revenue that we have on our homelessness crisis to actually be getting people inside and resolving some of the sticky problems we're facing with public safety as well.
Listen, in 2019, 9,000 was the count, and then in 2022, they had 13,000. It's even higher than that. They spend billions of dollars. It's like if you could start to see, like, okay, that dollar now we're decreasing the number of homeless. Like, okay, that's fine. We're making some progress. Because right now, the amount of money every year keeps going up. The homeless keeps going up. I think because people respond to incentives, but you're going to disagree with me on that one, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's really high housing costs. And there's a lot of good research to back that up, too.
High housing costs?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you're going to have to create more housing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's part of my plan.
Well, hey, by the way, I just got to know the news from Andrew. Is Katie Wilson staying along? Wow. Huh? Look at you. Who was your... I'm concerned.
Alex
Is the child? Is someone looking after your child who's not well?
Yeah, actually, my mom's in town for a couple weeks, and so she's helping out. My husband, too. So, yeah,
Right.
she's got a lot
That's a
of
good topic because there was a story, KUOW, and people are like, oh, her mother and dad give her money. And you're like, yeah, it's too expensive to live here.
I mean, people need to understand, like, the pressures of a campaign, both the time pressures and the financial pressures. So, yes, I'm lucky that my parents who live across the country are in a position to help out a little bit with the very high cost of childcare right now.
God bless them. All right. Do they agree with everything you do when it comes to raising your kid? Hold that answer. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nate, on.
All right. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes. You're crowded from the U District through Linwood. Good portion of this, though, you're close to freeway speeds. Bellevue to Everett just hit 1 hour. Solid from mid-Bellevue into Canyon Park. At 5:20, this turns into a bumper-to-bumper grind. Linwood to Seattle up to 40 minutes. We've got a backup through Linwood now, and then you're bumper-to-bumper from Lake City Way to I-90. North 5 is bumper-to-bumper from the Michigan Curve into downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, 15 minutes on 520, 25 minutes on I-90. Bellevue to Renton's at a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. And in Sumner, westbound 410 at Valley Ave, we've got a crash in your left lane. That's got you backed up to 166th. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I got to tell you something. I was so desperate when I went to see this doctor who told me I have to get my hip replaced. I said, man, I'm like an old person all of a sudden. He goes, well, not so soon because you're going to have to come back in a couple of years because you can't outlive your hip. So I heard about Dr. Mark Wagner, and I have been doing some research on stem cell procedures, and I knew that Dr. Mark Wagner has been doing this for like 30 years. He's done more than 20,000 of these procedures. So when I went to meet him, the first feeling I got, I shook his hand, I felt hope. Like, this is the doctor that's going to help me. So I decided to sign up for the stem cell procedure. And my hip, this is about 2.5 weeks ago. And I got to tell you something right now. Already, I've noticed a difference. And Dr. Wagner says, take it easy. You got about another 6 weeks. You're going to come back and we're going to check you out and see how it's going. But if you've been suffering sort of pain and somebody's told you have to get surgery when it comes to your hip or your shoulder, your neck, wherever it is, your elbow, think first about getting in touch with Dr. Mark Wagner and find out about a stem cell procedure. You can find out by getting in touch with him at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hart.
And I'm Amanda Factor, and it's almost Friday.
We'll have the day's top stories. Sully has traffic every 10 minutes.
Broadway's longest-running American musical has landed in Seattle.
It's Chicago at the 5th Avenue.
We'll hear from the actors who play Roxy Hart and her rival, Velma Kelly.
Paul Holden has your weekend planner.
Join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify a key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it.
But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Did you know September is historically one of the strongest months to sell a home, and there's typically a post-Labor Day boost that runs through October and sometimes even later. So is now the time to sell your home, and how much is it worth? Well, get an estimate of your home's value instantly at sellwithwest.com. If you want local expertise, someone who actually knows what's happening with the housing market in your neighborhood, there's no one more local than Wes Jones. Go to sellwithwest.com, sellwithwest.com, and start by using their free home value calculator to see what your home is worth. It might be worth more than you think. You'll get so much more than just a number from Wes Jones. We're talking about recent sales in your neighborhood, the market temperature in your city, side-by-side comparisons of multiple online estimates. You can even calculate how much equity you have, and even a breakdown of how your home's value has changed over time. Go to sellwithwest.com, type in your address, and bam, you'll have instant access to all of this and more. It's fast, easy, it's local. Sellwithwest.com, a better way to sell your home.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. This just into the newsroom. Alaska Airlines has issued a full ground stop. The carrier says an IT issue is affecting all flights nationwide. No ETA for when those flights will resume. Several Pierce County Sheriff's deputies are now under investigation. Sheriff Keith Swank says they were on the scene of a DUI crash involving a member of his command staff. More from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
Pierce County Major Chad Dickerson was charged with 2 counts of vehicular assault for the July crash where WSP says he failed to yield the right-of-way and injured a family of 6. Court documents indicate some of the deputies failed to activate or turned off their body-worn cameras while at the scene. Sheriff Swank says that shouldn't have happened.
It doesn't matter if it's the sheriff or the undersheriff or the mayor or the executive or the governor or the president. You'll have your body-worn camera on.
In Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, some prominent NBA names are among more than 30 people arrested this morning in 2 separate gambling investigations.
I'm Peter King. The indictment involving betting on games mentions 4 NBA teams, but the scope may have been wider. The indictment says an Orlando Magic player gave out inside information about a 2023 game against Cleveland that wound up being used by a gambler. That player is not mentioned by name. Neither the player nor the team are accused of criminal activity. The team tells the Orlando Sentinel it's aware but has no indication that any of its current players were involved. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
King County Council member wants the state to punish drivers who hit bridges with oversized loads. Reagan Dunn is urging WashDOT to develop a so-called stupid motorist law. This comes after a truck hit the Bullfrog Road overpass on I-90 this week near Cleellum. Dunn says these incidents are dangerous and costly. Just tonight, the state announced the demolition crews are taking down the damaged portion of that overpass. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Subaru of Puyallup has the update. Seattle to Everett down to 50 minutes. We're still crowded from the U District through Linwood. Again, a good portion of this, you're close to freeway speeds. Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes. It's solid from mid-Bellevue into Canyon Park. It gets real heavy through Kirkland. Linwood to Seattle, right around a 40-minute drive. We've got a couple mile back up through Linwood to get through, and then you're bumper-to-bumper from about Lake City Way to I-90. North 5 is solid from the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton, a half hour. It's solid from 520 all the way to the VMAC in Renton, and then pretty thick as all the way down through Factoria. Seattle to Federal Way, 45 minutes. It's solid between Tukwila and Fife. Renton to Puyallup on 167's at 50 minutes. You're solid from 180th down to 516. And again, in Sumner, we've got this collision still westbound 410 at Valley Avenue in your left lane. Traffic is stressful. One thing that's always stress-free, pricing on over 300 new Subarus with easy financing at Subaru of Puyallup. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. A little breezy tonight, but mostly dry until early tomorrow. Heavy rain along the coast overnight. Rain moving into the South Sound after daybreak on Friday. Right now looking at 63 degrees and cloudy skies in Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Heat waves. It's like a lid on a pot. High pressure traps heat and blocks out cool air. KIRO 7 Pinpoint Future Track alerts you to heat waves days in advance, and team coverage on KIRO 7 Pinpoint Alert Days keeps you plugged in so you can prepare and stay safe. Watch KIRO 7 Pinpoint Weather only on KIRO 7 News.
Thank you, Joe. Well said, well read. Thank you for not dropping the S-bomb. Bucky's Auto Service Centers. They got 16 locations, been around for 50 years. That's older than Katie Wilson, who's running for mayor. You don't mind your age keep coming up. Are you ready for a quick lightning round of nonstop political questions?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Do it.
All right. The KUOW has a story, and you basically say, yeah, my husband and I are trying to make a living here. We can't, so we get some support from my parents. And it'd be, you're getting support from your parents.
Well, I mean, first, let's be clear.
How's that for a reaction?
Let's be clear. This is like during the campaign when I'm running for office. Okay, we're not, we're independent people.
Okay, all right, yeah, right. So, what was your job prior to running? You were.
So I work for the Transit Riders Union, which is this organization that I co-founded back in 2011.
Yep.
So that is my full-time job, and right now we're in the middle of hiring someone to take my position at that organization.
Okay. So somebody said to me today, "Oh, so you're talking to Katie Wilson." So she was the decision that is. They've read the articles or heard of. So she and her husband are here, and they're like, "Hey, let's go to Seattle. Do you want to open a bakery, or do you want to run for mayor?" Is that? That's the way people have interpreted it.
No. So my husband, before I decided to run for office, he was working on starting a bakery. So that's on hold now because running for office is a big deal. But no, it was not. It was not one of them.
What are you laughing at? Campaign director, stay out of here.
I mean, one thing I've realized on this campaign, like rumors fly around. You would be surprised at the rumors we hear. So yeah.
You choose to ignore some of them.
I've gotten good at just letting things slide by and not taking things personally. That's for sure.
So if you look at the numbers, it's not going well for the city of Seattle when it comes to the sales tax. So they got $340 million in 2023. They did $340 million, same thing the next year. They're going to get about $344 million in 2025. The tax base is going down or not increasing because businesses are not there. You got commerce. I mean, you have commercial buildings as well. Vacancy is like 36%. So right now the city is kind of stuck. So what you would need to do is generate the economy to then be able to take a piece of that and then do something with it. So you have to create a business-friendly city. And when people hear, well, Katie Wilson doesn't have any big problems with being compared to Mandani there in New York, it doesn't make people feel like it's a business-friendly city. Are you business-friendly?
I would say, I recognize very much that to have a thriving city, we need good jobs, and that means we need, companies locating here, doing their business here. I'm not going to agree with the big guys on everything, all the businesses that are currently, spending $1.5 million to try to prevent me from getting elected. There's going to be things that we're at odds on, but I also recognize that I'm going to need to work together closely with the business community on a lot of issues. And honestly, I think that really tackling our homelessness crisis and the public safety issues that are related to that will go a long way to helping to revive downtown, helping to encourage businesses to locate and grow here. So that's one thing that I think we're very aligned on, and I'm looking forward to working together with those folks on. And and in general, I think thinking through the kind of economic future of our city and our region, we've been really riding this tech wave for the last 20 years, and there's the AI boom going on right now, which I think there's a lot of open questions about how that ends up affecting the tech sector and our workforce. I think there's a lot of exciting opportunities in kind of building out a green economy and partnerships with the port and the private sector. And so, I'm really interested in these questions and looking forward to digging in collaboration with the businesses here.
I caution you don't want to be sort of pigeonholed as the homelessness solving czar candidate, because although that's part of the problem, and I think it's because we offer the services that people will come, that's from Field of Dreams, that the other part of it is you have to have the other engine going, which is the economy part of it. They always say that every Boeing job, there's 7 additional jobs connected to it. So when Boeing, gets a cold, the rest of us, have pneumonia. The same thing happens with Amazon. For one Amazon worker, there's all the money that trickles down to everybody else that's out there. So you do want to make sure it is an environment in which businesses feel that they can prosper, grow, right? So, and you have to give them that sense that, I'm not going to call you the terrible people or the rich that don't pay their fair share. I need you to come here. I need you to know that your workers will feel safe as they walk down the street. I'm not going to be taxing the hell out of you. I'm not going to make you feel bad about the money that you have, because you're going to need them, right? Don't you?
Sure.
I'm telling you, you need them. I go, gosh, darn it all. I feel like George Bailey or something over here.
I'm not contradicting you. I
know, but I'm just telling you that what you read is what you get is that Katie Wilson goes after Amazon and goes after the big tech, and these guys don't pay enough money, and we're going to go get you on the head tax and this and that.
Yeah, it's not. It's not because I hate them or something. This is it's not a personal thing, right? Like, this is really, the question is, how do we make this city a place where we have a great quality of life, right? Where the people who work in our grocery stores and our coffee shops can afford to live in the city, where we're able to address the homelessness crisis. And, part of that is revenue. And, like I said, we have this very regressive tax system, and there's the question of where do we get the revenue to do these things, right? And so it's really, it's not a personal issue, but it's kind of looking at the structure of our economy and this extreme levels of inequality that we have, and the fact that we have this enormous concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few people and a few wealthy corporations. I mean, you look at the profits right now that these tech companies are making, it's off the wall, right? So these are big structural issues in our economy and our society, and it's really a question of what can we do to address those here at the local level, because people are struggling, right? And if you give,
but do people struggle because you saw the story the other day that the CEO of Microsoft now at $50 million or whatever making, right? Do the people struggle because that guy's got more money?
I mean, yes. Not exactly, but yes. I mean, we have a large class of people who are living hand to mouth, working low wage jobs, and then we have wealth and power concentrated in the hands of a few. And so it's not a moral. It's not like we hate the rich or something like that, but it's we got to change this situation if we're going to create a society that's good.
Right, but it's, to me, I always look at it, because Jeff Bezos made $1 billion or $1 billion in the last half hour, or sold his house the other day for $63 million or something. It didn't make me any poorer. Right? He didn't take it from me. right? He made more money because I wanted to buy a product.
There's a question of, are we giving, are we letting all the money flow to the wealthy, or are we distributing it more? So that's
but how did it flow to the wealthy?
Well, we're getting into deep questions of political economy here. Right? That's not what we're here for.
No. The reason it flows to the wealthy is because the guy was able to deliver a bottle of vitamin D to my house in 20 minutes. That's how we got rich.
Because his workers are being underpaid.
Well, they don't have to work there. And they're being replaced by robots now.
Well, that's a whole different discussion.
That is another discussion. Well, you're going to have to save that for when you win. All right, by the way, what's your question for Bruce Harrell coming in tomorrow? I don't know if you're going to win, but Bruce Harrell's coming in tomorrow. What would be a good question? We would play this cut, and he'd go, oh, my God, she's haunting me.
I don't have a question.
You don't have one for him? That's all right. You don't have to. Okay.
I mean, I think it's, one of the things that I've noticed when we're on the debate stage and, the homelessness crisis, which we've talked a lot about, comes up again and again. And it just feels to me like his plan for the homelessness crisis is, well, the other cities need to do more. Well, I was dealt a bad hand, right? Mm-hmm. Homelessness around the country is rising. So there's a lot of passing the buck, a lot of making excuses. Okay. And, he's criticized the plans that I put out there, but I don't know what his plan is.
Ooh. What, with all the debates and everything, you don't know what his plan is?
I don't know his plan.
All right, I'll ask his plan.
His plan is for there to be thousands more people sleeping unsheltered on our streets 4 years from now. That's what it looks like to me.
Okay, he's not going to want to hear that tomorrow. All right, Katie Wilson, thank you for coming by. Take care of that kid. Say hi to your mom, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, John.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, Nate, what do you got for yourself out there, huh?
It's a busy commute. Seattle Sports has the update. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. You're crowded from the U District through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 55. Solid from mid-Bellevue into Canyon Park. Gets really heavy through Kirkland. The drive through Everett, though, once you get there, looking all right. It's less than 15 minutes of travel from Everett into Marysville. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. You've got the backup in Linwood, but you'll clear at 212th all the way down to 85th. From there, it is bumper to bumper in the downtown. North 5, bumper to bumper from the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. And in Sumner, westbound 410 at Valley Avenue, we've still got this crash blocking your left lane. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I know what it's like. You watch the hair begin to thin, the crown disappears, and you're like, oh, my God, I'm going bald. Hair loss can just rob you of your identity. That is exactly how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair. You see, Advanced Hair has got this simple one-day treatment. They regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you. Because if you are looking in the mirror, possibly right now, yes, you're a good-looking fellow, and you're also noticing you're starting to lose your hair, you probably want it back. So what will you do? Just be okay with being bald? Nope. Get your hair back. Set up a free consultation, $250 off, 250 free hair graft, 425-449-8185. You don't want to wait because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. It's 425-449-8185. You can check them out. Look at the before and after pictures. They're right there for you at Advanced Hair. That's advancedhair.com.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877 Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
This October, the Harnish Auto family is partnering up with Mobile Mammo Northwest in the fight against breast cancer. Mobile Mammo Northwest provides accessible mammograms to women across the Puget Sound, bringing early detection and care to those who need it most. For every test drive taken at a Harnish Auto family dealership, we will donate on your behalf. Join us in supporting Mobile Mammo Northwest at the Harnish Auto family, where people matter.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
The insurance world, it can be confusing, so have First Mark Insurance guide you through it by taking the free First Mark Challenge. They'll explore offerings from top carriers for better coverage and lower rates. They save the Heward family thousands. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
1-888-973-5476. All are welcome to the John Curley Show. 1-888-973-5476. The Department of Homeland Security tweets the hype video of the arrival to Portland. These guys, these kids in there with their fancy AI and all their videos, right? Didn't they have one of Trump flying an F-16 or something, or F-18 flying that stupid thing?
You know they did.
Okay. So here's was the Portland one? So this is the fact that
This
now...
is like their hype video.
Yeah, the National Guard going into Portland. Okay.
We are now in the process of defeating the radical left.
Oh, Charlie Kirk there. Okay. And then... Wow, yeah. It's like Kiana Sklotsky. And then, well, this is great. This is just two guys sitting here not saying anything on the radio, watching video. This is what it's come to. Just a bunch of images of the ice, and then there's the smoke, and then the green laser, and then frogs, and then somebody flipping somebody off. So where's this video running? What is the point of this?
They put it out on social media. So this is the Department of Homeland Security's Twitter account.
Why do we have that?
I don't know. They really just want people to be excited about
that they're going into Portland?
Yeah.
Most of this stuff is to.
We're not going to let it happen.
Oh,
it's a recruitment.
Oh, join ICE.gov. Okay, right, because they're trying to get people. I remember I saw that. I think it was either the governor of Washington or the mayor or somebody was saying in Seattle that they don't like the fact that ICE is recruiting. That they had billboards up trying to come join ICE. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they don't want that, and they don't like you're going to go over there. I don't know how much money they paid him to go over there and be a part of ICE. You were thinking about becoming a cop for $120,000. Would you want to join ICE?
No, absolutely not.
You don't want them enforcing the laws?
No, I'm not in favor of indiscriminate deportation.
Oh, it's indiscriminate?
Yeah.
Okay. Where, huh? Just rounding people up? That's what ICE is doing? Just grabbing anybody and just grounding them up?
Mom and kids and it doesn't.
You don't like that, huh? So if your mom is driving drunk and the kid's in the car, do they separate the kid from the mom?
Yes.
Yes. So if the mom has broken the law and she's in the country illegally, maybe she's broken another law, do they separate the mom from the kid?
Yeah.
Yes.
I blame previous administration's border policies. They got in here, now they're here. If they've been here for 20 years, then, figure out a solution. You've actually suggested a couple of good solutions.
Well, thank you, Joe, but I'm not in charge. I'm just a guy pressing buttons.
You ought to be.
Yep. Yeah, I ought to be. No thanks. Let's go to Nate over there checking traffic for us and also checking on the demolition of the East Wing. Here is Nate.
Oh, wow. Emerald Queen Casino has the update. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. You're slow from the U District through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, 55. Solid now from mid-Bellevue all the way into Canyon Park. Linwood to Seattle coming the other way, 35 minutes. You got a couple miles back up through Linwood, but again, you'll clear at 212 all the way down to Lake City Way now, and then it's bumper to bumper from there into downtown. Linwood to Bellevue, in comparison, just 20 to 25 minutes. It's crowded through Canyon Park and Bothell, and then once you hit Bellevue, it jams up at 520 down to through Victoria, basically. Bellevue to Renton, plan on about 35 minutes. North 5, bumper to bumper, approaching the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Still got this collision in Sumner, westbound 410 at Valley Avenue. You're stop and go from 166. That crashed, by the way, in your left lane. The Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Okay, maybe you got a problem with the knees, bone on bone. You hear that. Maybe osteoarthritis, got a bad shoulder, tendonitis, things like that. Got a bad hip like I've got or had. Sorry, past tense. You might have heard about stem cell procedures. And I try to explain this to somebody, and if hopefully Dr. Mark Wagner is not listening, as I'm going to explain what he does. Stem cells basically show up. Imagine them showing up at a costume party, and everybody's dressed like everybody's favorite founding father or something. Stem cells show up without the costume on. They're like, what do you want us to do? Oh, you want us to be dressed like that? You want us to do that? The stem cells, when they go into the joint, they're basically going, geez, what needs to be done here? We will turn into the cells that have been damaged. We will turn into the tissue that was damaged. We will just basically become new cartilage. We'll become new support for the hip, for the elbow, for the shoulder. It's a terrible job explaining it. All I can tell you is this. It works. It works. And Dr. Mark Wagner's been doing more than 20,000 of these procedures. Find out about how a stem cell procedure for you might be the best choice. Not surgery, but a stem cell procedure. You want to find out more? There's Dr. Mark Wagner. Get in touch with him at drmarkwagnermd.com. Tell him I sent you. Tell him my hip's doing great. drmarkwagnermd.com.
A KIRO Newsradio exclusive.
This is Charlie Harder. I've spent the past 6 weeks investigating a story involving a youth pastor, child abuse, a mayor, and a name change, all while civic leaders appear to look the other way.
I've read the police report. It is horrible. It is sickening.
There's some level of calculation there.
You have to make it right.
How does no one have a problem with it?
Watch the full story at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio YouTube page.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Announcing the Royal Corgis.
What have you done?
I wired pounds to London to buy Royal Corgis.
You went to the bank to wire money for Royal Corgis?
That means yes.
You are so dumb. Banks are slow and they hide all kinds of fees in transfers.
Those mutts.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. It's faster and never hides fees. Oh, They're fighting, just like the real royal family.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Stacey Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate, noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas: waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit ProSculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's ProSculpt.com.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150